President Volodymyr Zelensky now confronts the toughest political test of the war so far, and this time the danger is coming from within his coalition of supporters rather than from Russian forces on the battlefield. A leading Western official who helped arm Ukraine is reportedly considering resignation, a move that could hand President Putin a major diplomatic and political victory if key supply lines are disrupted. The abrupt turmoil in London leaves decisions over massive drone deliveries hanging in the balance, forcing Kiev to face the real possibility of an immediate gap in frontline capabilities. Political chaos across the UK has Kiev asking a chilling question: could Ukraine lose one of its most reliable allies at exactly the moment unity is most needed? If international aid falters, the future of hundreds of thousands of drones, hundreds of missiles, and essential radar systems hangs in the balance, a scenario that could severely weaken Ukraine's defenses and early warning capacity. Days after announcing a landmark aid package for Ukraine, Britain has been plunged into political turmoil that now threatens the government's ability to deliver on its promises. The United Kingdom, which only recently pledged a major lifeline financed in part by frozen Russian assets, may soon face serious obstacles in actually getting that support to Kiev. Reports in a leading Sunday paper say Prime Minister Keir Starmer is expected to step down on Monday, a development that would shock allies and opponents alike. According to those reports, Starmer has put a timetable in place for his departure, signaling a fast-moving shift at the top of government. A government insider, however, insists that Starmer remains focused on governing and continuing the work of his administration despite the speculation. The Observer also reports that Starmer has been holding intensive discussions with cabinet colleagues, advisors, and major donors as he navigates the crisis. Electoral setbacks for Labour and a surprise by-election victory for a rival party have ramped up pressure on Starmer and his leadership team. That pressure has now crystallised into a formal leadership challenge as growing discontent within Labour's ranks becomes public and organised. If Starmer does resign, Britain would appoint its seventh Prime Minister in just 10 years, underscoring a period of unusual political instability. Days before reports of his planned departure surfaced, Keir Starmer publicly declared he would not walk away from the job, insisting he would stay and fight for his agenda. Andy Burnham is increasingly being seen within Labour circles as the party's most likely successor, a figure whose profile has risen sharply in recent weeks. Burnham's recent by-election win has significantly boosted his standing among supporters, giving him momentum and renewed influence inside the party. Many Labour members now believe Burnham is better positioned than others to blunt the rising threat from Reform UK and reconnect with voters in key constituencies. Despite growing speculation, Burnham is not expected to mount an immediate leadership challenge, choosing instead to avoid a direct confrontation for the time being. Sources say he is likely to return to Westminster as political pressure on Starmer intensifies, keeping his options open while maintaining party unity. Reports indicate an increasing number of Labour insiders now view Starmer as politically vulnerable, a shift that has fueled urgent discussions about the party's future direction. Britain's sudden political turmoil now risks severing a vital lifeline to Kiev, potentially leaving President Zelensky facing Moscow with far fewer international backers at his side. On June 18th, the UK announced a £752 million military aid package for Ukraine, a move meant to send a clear message of support at a critical moment. That package reportedly includes 150,000 drones, more than 350 air defense missiles, and multiple advanced radar systems intended to bolster frontline defenses. Seen alongside past commitments, this aid ranks among the largest single military contributions Britain has pledged to Ukraine during the conflict. The weapons and equipment are specifically aimed at strengthening Ukraine's air defense network and improving its ability to detect and repel attacks. Most of the funding for the package is expected to come from profits tied to frozen Russian state assets, a contentious but significant source of financing. The announcement arrived as questions mounted over the British Prime Minister's political stability, adding fresh uncertainty to Kiev's planning. Officials presented the deal as a major enhancement of Ukraine's battlefield resilience, designed to sustain its defensive operations over coming months. Taken together, London's pledge marks one of its most significant wartime commitments to date, with far-reaching implications if delivery is delayed or blocked. With the Ukraine war showing no signs of ending, one NATO nation is facing growing difficulties in filling the ranks of a key military formation. The challenge has raised concerns about long-term force readiness. Germany is struggling to attract enough volunteers for deployment near Russia's borders. Officials say recruitment targets remain difficult to achieve. The brigade forms part of Germany's broader military expansion plan in Eastern Europe. The initiative is intended to strengthen NATO's eastern flank. The unit is expected to reach full operational readiness by the end of 2027 with nearly 4,800 soldiers. Current plans call for a substantial increase in personnel over the coming years. Officials say around 1,800 personnel are currently stationed with the brigade. Thousands of positions are still vacant and awaiting recruitment. Personnel shortages are most severe in specialist roles, including IT, reconnaissance, and engineering units. These positions are considered critical to the brigade's effectiveness. German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius said operational readiness will take priority over voluntary service if necessary. He emphasized the importance of meeting military requirements. Germany's military leadership has warned that compulsory measures could be considered if volunteer numbers remain insufficient. The comments have intensified debate over future recruitment policies. A major recruitment campaign included barracks tours and organized trips for soldiers and their families. The effort was designed to encourage more personnel to join the deployment. Reports indicate that the campaign has failed to fully close the brigade's personnel gaps. Recruitment challenges continue despite the outreach efforts. Berlin is building up the 45th Armored Brigade as a flagship military unit based in Lithuania. The formation is expected to play a central role in regional defense planning. The unit, activated in 2025, represents Germany's first permanent foreign deployment since World War II. Its establishment marks a significant shift in German military policy. The brigade is stationed near the Belarus border and close to Russia's Kaliningrad region. The location is considered strategically important by NATO planners. German officials say the country must be prepared for the possibility of a conflict with Russia by 2029. They argue that readiness efforts cannot be delayed. Moscow has criticized NATO's expansion and accused Berlin of pursuing what it describes as revanchist militarization. Russian officials have repeatedly voiced opposition to the deployment. Russia says it has no intention of attacking NATO countries, but continues to warn against what it views as Western escalation. The Kremlin argues that further military buildup increases regional tensions.